Yeah, so it's a very strategic and witty sort of maneuver that he makes there, right? So democracy is neither alien nor utopian. It is rather a part of us. It's a natural right, and we just have to realize it. Theological, aristocratic, and authoritarian governments, although traditional and more ubiquitous, in Locke's view, are rather the outliers. They're the alien ones, right? They're not really natural to us. So it's a pretty good move that he makes there. Pretty interesting move. Pretty interesting philosophical and political move. Turning to the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, basically Cliff Notes to Locke. One's a manifesto and one's an operating instruction book. So you can see the famous line here: "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness," not the pursuit of property or possession that Locke had put forth. So a little gloss with the American dream there, but basically making the same argument. So although Locke and the Founding Fathers use an universal language that theoretically should apply to everyone who wasn't white, male, or elite, that is, women, African Americans, people of color, immigrants, working class people, etc., it is fair to say that the realities of the time, as well as the identities and behaviors of the Founding Fathers and John Locke, undermine the universal and philosophical claims that are being made in these two documents. For example, Locke, as we said before, is an investor in the slave trade. Many of the founding fathers were slaveholders. Women don't get any rights from these documents. African American slaves are in the Constitution rendered as 3/5 of a human being. Freedom for African Americans would take another 80 years through a civil war, constitutional amendments, and then another 100 years after that through Jim Crow to the civil rights legislation of the 1960s. Women don't get the right to vote until 1920, and I haven't even mentioned um, um, issues of LGBTQIA representation within the democratic process here. Yes, one can speak of an inclusive, progressive evolution of democracy since 1619, 1776, that has raised the level of living for many behind the 1% and provided opportunity in the American dream, definitely.